Hey student, watch this video and learn if it's possible, to speak English fluently alone. Coming up. Hey friends, Teacher Prix here to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Hey, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If it's your first time here, I just want to tell you that from Monday to Friday, I am making live lessons. And if you are here on Instagram, come to YouTube if you want to see the slides of the lesson. I decided to share here and here. So I hope you guys enjoy this really nice video I have prepared for you. Without further ado, let's talk about the real business, the thing you want to know. Can you speak fluently Can you speak English fluently? Alone. All by yourself. All by myself. Don't wanna be... Yeah, anyway. Guys, the first thing I want to tell you, yes, it is possible. And I don't wanna do a clickbait. This is not a clickbait. This is the real deal. I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna give you some strategies. I'm gonna talk about some mistakes and some things you believe that you need to do or you need to have in order to speak English. So make sure to pay attention and watch it until the end. And at the end of the lesson, I'm gonna make a beautiful face. And I want you guys to take a picture, a print screen, okay? Make a print screen and then tag me on Instagram. Make a story, tag me there, and I will repost your post, okay? So at the end, I'll make a pretty face. My face is already pretty, so... All right, so let's dive into the content. I will talk about the ebook, but I want to get down to business. So if you want the ebook, the link is in the description. It's free, it's nice, go there. But now, business. Guys, the first thing you need to know is our mind, our brain, our mind can do incredible, fascinating things. And I like to quote Napoleon Hill because he is a writer that really inspired me and really inspires me throughout my journey in everything that I do. And he says that whatever the mind can create, can conceive, can create, okay? Whatever the mind can conceive, can create, and believe, it can achieve. So whatever you create in your mind, and I'm not talking about flying, human beings flying, I'm talking about tangible things, okay? Things that are that can happen, all right? So whatever you create in your mind and you can believe it's going to happen, you can do it, my friend. So the short answer to the question, the title of this video is yes, you can. But there's a catch. You need to make your mind believe that you can do it. Otherwise, you will never get there. It doesn't matter. You may have the best teachers in the world. You may have all the sources, all the materials, all the lessons, all the inspiring teachers. But if you don't believe right here, it's never going to happen. So the first thing you need to do is believe here. Believe that it's possible. Visualize yourself achieving fluency, speaking well. And that is the first thing you have to do. And this is completely disconnected to English, okay? So it has nothing to do with English. Now, guys, here on YouTube, let me know if you're watching, if everything is okay, all right? I received a message on YouTube, so just tell me if everything is okay on YouTube. On Instagram, everything checks out, so let's move on. Now, guys, fluency. What is English fluency according to Oxford? Guys, fluency is the quality, the skill, the quality of being able to speak and to write a language, especially a foreign language, easily and well, okay? Before you want to speak English fluently, you need to understand what it is to be fluent, okay? And many times we watch YouTubers, we watch people on the internet, we watch our favorite teachers, we watch people we like speaking in English, and we think we have to speak like them. You don't have to speak like me. I'm a teacher. I take specializations. I do many courses because I have to. It's my job. To achieve English fluency, you don't need to talk like me. You need to speak well, to write well. You need to be able to communicate with people, express your mind, speak the things you enjoy, the things you like, okay? This has nothing to do with perfection, all right? A little bit of my story. When I was 15 years old, I studied English. If you, some people who know me, who follow my work, I started studying when I was 12. But after 10 months of studying, nothing was working out. Nothing was going well. So I gave up. You know, I was miserable because nothing was working out for me. So I quit. When I turned 15, I decided to try again. And in 6 months, I was able to write well and speak in English very well. The school was so surprised that they invited me to work there as an intern, as a monitor, a teacher's assistant, okay? Now, one important thing. If I compare my English from, I don't want to review my age, but if I compare my English from 15 years ago to my English today, guys, I'm much better because I'm working on improving my English. I am a completely different person. But it's not fair for me to compare my English when I was 15 and say, no, I was not good. I was amazing. 6 months talking in English, writing in English, I could understand. So you need to analyze your reality, okay? And you need to be more realistic. So in 6 months, you can do a hell of a job. You can achieve a very I was going to say a very great, but that's wrong. You can achieve an amazing, I'm so excited because you can achieve an amazing level. But you need to be realistic, okay? Of course that after 15 years of studying, I've been, okay, let's be honest about the age, 17 years of studying English. Of course I'm better. Of course I'm much better. But when I was 15, in 6 months, I could talk and I could understand. And that's what I want to show you that you can do. And I'm not the only one. I have had many students who achieved the same, who didn't know anything, zero. But after 6 months, we're talking about everything, describing their favorite things, describing their life, talking about their job, describing their plans, having a conversation in English, being understood. And that's what I truly believe you can achieve in 6 months. You can speak well and you can write well in English and have a conversation. But teacher, can I talk about anthropology in English in 6 months? Well, it depends. It's more specific. Do you like anthropology? Then I believe so. Hobson, thank you so much for the donation. Hobson made a super chat. And super chat are super donations. Thank you very much. Shout out to Hobson. Thank you very much. Now, as I was saying, if you enjoy anthropology, it is very specific. So go for it. You know, one thing that I loved when I was 15, I love Egypt, okay? I love Egyptology. I love archaeology. So when I was 17, because that's when I started receiving money for the lessons, okay? When I was 17, I bought a book in English about Egypt because I liked Egypt. I was interested in Egypt, and that was difficult for me. So I bought a book, I read more about Egypt, and I read in English. I didn't have a computer, okay? So internet, not so easy. So I really had to buy a book about Egypt. It took me more than a month to receive the book because I didn't buy it here. I bought it internationally. I think it took 2 months. I don't remember exactly, but it took a long time. So it was very specific. So this is what happens after 6 months. You achieve an amazing communication level. You can talk, you can understand, but then it's time to make it better, to sharpen. And this is an ongoing process. Now is the time for you to explore the things you enjoy, the things you care about, okay? Moving on. Now, if you want to speak fluently, alone, and I'll get to the alone part, you need to feel, and that's probably this part, you need to learn to feel comfortable speaking English. I talk to so many people who do not feel comfortable about English, about speaking. They can read, they can write, they can listen. How many of you feel that way? You can read, you can write, you can listen, but you feel uncomfortable about speaking. Now, this happens here. Fluency is emotion. It's about how you feel about your English, how you feel about yourself. This happens, fluency happens at a mental level. It's your mind that needs to change toward the way you feel about English. When I was 15, and I'm going to share a little bit of my story, I hope you enjoy. I practiced speaking alone despite the fact that I had no one to correct me or to guide me or to tell me, how, Priscilla, amazing job. I had no one to do that for me. But despite all that, I practiced speaking alone. And I didn't have a recorder, I didn't have a phone to record myself. All I remember was my father or my mother every now and then, Priscilla, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? I'm like, to myself, English. They thought I was crazy. But I was not. I was practicing. I was studying. But what this process taught me was that I needed to be fluent here. And to do that, I had to teach my brain to accept English and accept the good, the bad, and the ugly. Unfortunately, we just want the good, fluency, but we are a little resistant to the bad and the ugly. The mistakes we make, the fear that we're not gonna be able to express ourselves, and consequently we get stuck and we get into this loop of never speaking and never achieving fluency because we don't train the mind. And hey, if you're enjoying this live video, send me hearts here on Instagram. Thank you for the hearts. And give me likes, give me share. I'll give you an A. I'll give you a B. Okay, I'll stop that. Anyway, moving on. And hey, if you are new here, thanks for watching. I hope this lesson is helpful to you. Make sure to subscribe because every Monday, every Tuesday, from Monday to Friday, I have videos here on YouTube. And I'm also on Instagram. If you want to check it out, I'm always doing something on Instagram that I don't do here on YouTube, okay? Now, but who will correct my mistakes? Teacher Prix, you have no idea how many mistakes I make. Dude, you have no idea how many mistakes I make. Of course, that I make mistakes at a different level. I make different mistakes from you, from the mistakes you make, but I do them. I make mistakes too. Now, if you keep worrying about mistakes, you will keep using your energy the wrong way. This is mind, this is energy. If you use your energy, your beautiful energy, thinking about, oh my God, my mistakes. Oh my God, the preposition mistakes I make. Oh my God, the conjugations I forget. You will always feel afraid. And your brain is very smart and it will use this against you and it'll try to stop you. The more you think about what you don't have, the less time you will spend doing something to change your current situation. So the more time and the more energy you spend thinking about the teacher you don't have, thinking about the speaking partner you don't have, thinking about the mistakes you make, the less time you will spend on working on what is really important, on what really matters to you, which is to speak, okay? You may never have the perfect scenario to learn English. So if you know that already, how are you gonna wait until you have that? And someone says, oh, hire an English teacher. Well, not many people can do that. Not everyone can do that. And for many reasons, maybe it's not just money. Maybe it's emotional too. Some people are so afraid that they will be judged, that they will be making mistakes, that they don't hire a teacher because they are afraid as well. So I don't think just hiring a teacher is the solution, okay? It is one. If you can afford, that's great, but you don't need. Okay, you can do this by yourself. And when I say this, I did this, I know many people who do this, I have friends who did this, I talk to many people around me who do it, but they learn to respect their scenario, okay? They learn to respect what they can do at that time. And you know, it's interesting because I believe that just having a teacher doesn't mean you're going to do it. And why do I say that? Well, I just got in touch with a prospect, and I couldn't be her teacher because of time and schedule. But she has been living in the US for quite some time now. And despite having English lessons from Monday to Friday there, she doesn't improve. She is stuck. And then I started giving her some recommendations on things she can do, on things she can work on in order to improve her English. And I'm not saying she's perfect because we talked about this like 3 weeks ago, but I know that she has a better idea of what to do. So remember, you may never have the perfect scenario to learn English. Are you going to wait until you have all that? Because if the answer is you prefer to wait, then I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's gonna take a while, okay? And it's a choice. It's your choice. Now, practice every day for success. And when I say every day, guys, make sure to analyze your limitation, your time, your routine. But I believe that if you respect your time, respect your schedule, and organize your routine, you will be able to include English in your life a little bit every day. And that's my goal. Always remember that English is an important part of your life, is an important part, is an important aspect of your goals that you want to achieve one day. So I think that's the mentality I want you to have, okay? A little goes a long way. So why not establish a daily or weekly, you will analyze your routine, but a weekly or a daily speaking practice. You know, I have my online English program, and this is something that I tell my students there to do. I don't know if they do it. I can't force them to do it. But I always recommend, I give them questions and say, look, have your speaking practice every week, because this is going to help you educate your brain that you have to speak, okay? It's a personal choice, and it's not always an easy one, okay? Today I was studying Italian, and that's exactly what I did. I think I had a speaking practice for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I was doing an exercise, and I was answering orally, answering questions, practicing my Italian. Practicing alone will help your brain, will stimulate your brain and make you use what you study. It's by speaking, by trying to communicate, that you will discover your limitations, things you don't know how to say, things you don't know how to express, and this will guide you on what you can study, okay? I think this is a productive thing you can do to help you understand the next step, the next thing you need to study and work on, especially for people who study alone and have no one to tell them what to do. In the academy, for example, my students know, oh, this is the lesson 1, this is the lesson 2, this is what you need to study, here's a video for you to practice your listening, listen to this native speaker, there are listening exercises, there are vocabulary, so they know. But if you are there outside, finding things on the internet, you don't know, you don't have a plan, start here. Start with simple things to do. And I am sure they will make a great change in your results, okay? Now, speaking fluently does not require all the words in the book. No, you don't need to know all the words in the book. You don't need to know all the structures in the English language. I was gonna say, I wrote lesson, but it's language. You don't need to know all the structures in the English lessons. I see so many students going crazy about present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, or passive voice, reported speech. Whoa, take it easy. Take it easy like Sunday morning. You don't need to know all of that. There are important structures that I highly agree that you need to know, but you don't need to know all of them. And this gets many students stuck because they think they need to know it all. And that's not how it works. It's not how it works. And the same goes to mistakes. Fluency has nothing to do with being able to speak correctly and not making any mistakes. No, because you're never going to achieve that. It means to speak and write well. People will understand what you say. Doesn't mean they'll be perfect, okay? When I was in New York last year, I was talking to a student of mine about this, that sometimes we want to speak perfectly and use amazing advanced words, but when we go to the real world, that's not how it works, because in many situations you will not talk to a native speaker. So I caught myself in New York City talking to non-native speakers, and they couldn't understand what I was saying because I was complicating things. So I had to help them and make their lives easier and use easy language, easy structure, because I wanted to communicate. I didn't want them to feel bad or misunderstand what I was saying, okay? So that's what I mean by fluency. So if you worry too much by the structures you don't know, or by the words, because of the words you don't know, that is really not gonna be the key to your success, okay? Now, my friends, if you don't do this, and I have a list here of people on Instagram, sorry, you have to come to the YouTube, but you can stay here, it's no problems. I'll talk about them. If you don't do this, you will not become a fluent speaker, okay? And hey, I see there are likes, but how about give more likes? You know, you make me happy. When I see the likes, it's really me, I feel happy. No, but not only that, YouTube understands that, hey, this video is nice, so let's help Priscilla grow this channel. So when you hit the like button, you help me, you help YouTube understand that this is a good lesson, and it helps people, okay? Now, if you don't do this, you don't become a fluent speaker. You will not become, let's use future actually, you will not become, you may not, I don't like to use will because I can't guarantee, I can't predict the future, but you may not. There's a good chance, okay? Guys, you don't combine all these skills to learn English. If you don't do that, you may become fluent, you could, but your journey will take longer, okay? How about using all the structure, all these skills in English? Reading, writing, listening, vocabulary. Personally, if you ask me when I am studying, I don't like writing, but I know it's important. So every week I write in English. I have a writing routine because I know it helps me. It helps me memorize vocabulary. It helps me use vocabulary. I also practice reading. All the books I read are in English because I know that reading is important and it'll help me understand and learn structure, learn grammar more passively, improve my vocabulary, and connect English to my life. So don't waste time. It's not only listening. No. If you want to become a speaker, a fluent speaker, you have to connect everything, okay? Do a little bit of everything. That's how it works, okay? The next one. Actively listen. No, actively study. What do I mean by this? You guys are watching my lesson and I see that many of you are participating in the chat and sharing experiences. This is amazing and it's good. You're writing in English, so this is good, okay? And I feel like it's a great way, all right? But during your study time, when you finish the video and it's just you, not me anymore, not teacher Prix or not your favorite teachers, whoever they are. I imagine there are many amazing teachers here on YouTube and on Instagram. So after that, what do? Do you really sit down to study? And one thing that I did today, and I was doing this in Italian because I always talk about this, I watched an episode of Friends and I watched it last week. I watched it 4 times. Then today was the day that I had to talk about it. And this is a challenge for me, okay? This is difficult and I like it because it really challenges me. So what I did was I watched the episode again and I started taking notes and writing down not just the vocabulary, but explanations. Oh, okay, in this part, he talks to her about this. Joey asks Monica about this in Italian. I wrote some keywords that I watched in the video that I learned in that episode. And I wrote, I think, 2 pages describing the episode, organizing the ideas. And after that, I got my phone and I started recording. I explained the episode and I saw my notes. I didn't read my notes, but I looked at my notes to help me remember, because there were some words that I didn't remember. Okay, you don't learn everything 100%. And this is an example. You don't need to do what I do. This is an example of actively studying English or any language you study. You really engage in the activity. You really participate. And that's what I want you to do. Okay, I want you to really engage in the activity you do. So I have many grammar lessons here, many vocabulary lessons, many listening tips. So use them. Buy a notebook, and take notes. Write down. And some people tag me on Instagram, and I feel so proud to see that they are taking notes, they are writing down, they are really actively studying. Start doing that. It's amazing that you dedicate your time to me, watch the lesson and participate. But you need to do a little more after the video is over, okay? Practice your English speaking. As I mentioned on Instagram, I'm always talking to people on Instagram. I'm always talking to you guys when I make videos about speaking. I downloaded an app and I record myself speaking every week. And I will repeat this because it's important. This helps you feel comfortable speaking. It will not correct your mistakes. I know. I agree with you. But it'll help you think of the words, remember the words, use the structure. This is a great start. And as I told you, I've known many people who achieved fluency without any guidance, just studying, just listening, watching, actively studying, practicing alone. So you can do this too. Have a consistent routine. If you don't have a consistent routine, it doesn't matter how many times you try, how many times you start. If you lose your discipline, if you don't have consistency, you will not achieve fluency, because you start, then you stop. You start, and then you stop. If this happens to you very often, I'm sorry, but fluency will get further and further away because of your lack of consistency, okay? Now, you have to, if you don't train, if you don't teach, if you don't train your mind to become fluent, it's not going to happen either. And as I said, I talked about the importance of teaching your mind to be fluent, teaching your mind, practicing, and showing your mind that what fluency is. Okay? Now, the final thing, if you don't understand that fluency is not perfection, that people make mistakes, that you need to know how to correct yourself, and you need to know how to correct people, and that you don't need to be perfect all the time, then it'll be hard. Because every time you make a mistake, you will begin to judge yourself. And that is not a very positive thing, okay? You don't want that to happen to you. And I am a perfectionist. I'm always trying to correct my mistakes. And I know that. I always need to remind myself, because this is something that challenges me. Priscilla, you make mistakes. It's okay. Fluency is communication. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is communication. Fluency is not perfection. So when you tag me, when I make the beautiful face, you can write this, okay? Fluency is communication. It's not perfection. Very nice. Now, guys, what do you do now? The video is almost over. It's ending. Well, not ending. I still have something to say. You need to come up with a study routine, okay? Because you need discipline and you need to follow a plan. I have many videos on my channel where I give you suggestions and ideas of how to come up with a study plan, a routine. If you don't have a routine, that's not going to happen. That's not going to work. Things are not going to work out, okay? Another thing, follow channels that will help you. And when I say that, I know that it's not just my channel. It's okay if you follow other. You don't need to make. You don't need to follow only my channel. Of course you don't. You can follow other channels. You don't need to follow many. Be careful. Exaggerating in the number of people you follow may not help you study. Okay. I study Italian and I follow 2 teachers. That's it. I don't follow many people. I follow Italian people, not teachers. Italian people that talk about other things. But teachers, 2. That's it, okay? I don't need more teachers. I need 2 good teachers. I watch their lessons and I'm good. I'm fine. But it's you. Your personal choice. It's good. You can follow as many teachers as you like. There are incredible teachers on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere. But follow channels that will help you. That will give you guidance, that will tell you how to organize your study plan, they will give you listening tips, they will give you speaking tips, and more importantly, channels that speak English, that don't speak your language, that speak English, okay? Maybe you can buy an online program that maybe you will not have a teacher in this online program, but you will have lessons, you will have guidance, you will know what to study. This really, really helps. Many people don't have time. They're very busy. They're always on the run, always doing something. So maybe an online course will guide you. You will know exactly what to do, what to study. So this may be good, okay? Practice your speaking. Don't feel shy. Have a moment where you interact with yourself, where you describe things, make short presentations, because that will stimulate your brain to remember the information you study. And more importantly, whatever you practice, whatever you study, make sure to do that connecting with things you like, with things you enjoy, okay? Things that are part of your life. As I said, when I was 16 to 17, I bought a book about Egypt, about Egyptology in English, because I knew that it would be impossible for me to find a book about Egypt in my city. I was in a hometown, a small town. I would never find a book about Egypt. Even if I talked to the teacher in the school, because then I started working there, they didn't know anything about Egypt. That was not really pyramids, Pharaoh, that's it. The Mummy, the movie. I wanted more. So I always try to find a way to connect English to the things I liked, to the things I enjoyed. And even to this day, before the class, I was doing yoga. And I do yoga in English because I want to bring English to my life. Okay, guys? Other than that, now it's time. Time for me to make a pretty face, a pretty woman. So, okay, let me serious now. Okay. So take a picture now, print screen. 1, 2, 3. Looking at Instagram now. Anyway, my friends, thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow for another English lesson. Make sure to subscribe and share. See ya. Bye.